Hey, it's pretty awesome. You keep coming back and watching more videos to learn. Um, let's talk about what happens with negative exponents. Okay, you've seen them. Some of you are like, nah, I got this, Miss Valente. Some of you are like, yeah, what? Okay, so look, if we have a to the negative n, it says that that's the same as doing 1 over a to the positive n. Okay, so notice negative. If I cross the line, change the sign, it becomes positive. So let's explore this. Again, you don't have to memorize it. It's on your star chart. But if you don't know what it means, it's useless. All right, so here we go. If we have a negative exponent, you're going to cross the line, the fraction bar, and change the sign of your exponent. Okay? And that can cross either way from denominator to the numerator to the denominator. Here's your proof, okay? We kind of looked at this a little bit, but here's why this works. So we know that 2 to the first is 2. We know 2 squared is 4. We know 2 to the third would be 8. Because what is our pattern here? What are we doing? This is times 2, and then it's times 2, right? So it's doubling every time. So if I asked you to go for the previous term in the pattern, what would come before 2? Well, what number times 2 equals 2? That would be 1, right? So then we get this part where we're at 2 to the 0 equals 1. Here's the big shocker. And add this to your notes. Any number raised to the power of 0 will always equal 1. Okay, always, whatever the number is, except for 0, because 0 to any power is just 0. Like there's no pattern with 0. Okay, but any number raised to 0 is going to give you 1, because there's our proof. If we reverse the pattern, you're going to see, hey, I always end up at 1. Okay, all right, well, let's keep working backwards. What number times 2 equals 1? Well, that would be half, right? Another way to think about it is, well, if I go the other way, I'm dividing by 2 this way, but I'm multiplying by 2 as I grow, and I'm dividing as I go backwards, right? Okay, so then what would be up here? Well, half of half is 1/4. 1/4 times 2 gets me 1/2, right? So 2 to the negative 1 is 1 over 2. So let's think about that for just a moment. 2 to the negative 1 became 1 over 2 to the positive 1, right? 2 to the negative 2 became 1 over 4. Well, another way to write that is 1 over 2 squared, right? Because 2 squared, we already said, is 4. Positive 2 from that negative 2. Okay, so we cross the line and it changes our sign. That's what negative exponents do. This chart is kind of your proof. Like, yep, that's what it does. Okay, all right, so let's apply this a little bit. Let's run through some examples. Okay, if our base is a variable, what do? We're not sweating it. We've been through this a little bit. All right, so h to the negative 5. I'm going to cross the line. So there's nothing left up here this time. Cross the line, and I'm going to change the sign. Okay, right? Because everything we have is a fraction. If we don't see the denominator, it's over 1. And so I'm going to cross that line. If this comes down, I'm left with 1 on top. Okay, here we go. So take it step by step. So I see this is negative, so I know that has to move down. I see this one's negative, so I have to go down. But this, in the denominator, that z is negative, which means it has to cross the other way. All right, so let's start with our what stays up here. Both of these go down, but the denominator is going to come on up. And so cross the line, change the sign. So now it's a positive 5, and I'm going to make that look like z. Okay, Now my denominator, the x, crosses the line, and now it's a positive 3. The y crossed the line, change the sign, positive 1. Okay, here we go. Only negatives move. If it's positive, it stays put. So here, and I like to circle and just show myself what has to move. Okay, this has to move. All right, all of this is positive, so here, let's see. So I'm going to go first with what stays. So b stays, d cubed stays. All right, in the denominator, I have g, and it times h squared stays. But now I'm going to look here. So a to the negative 1 comes down, changes to positive 1, and then c to the negative 4, c comes down, and now it's positive 4. Okay, let's keep going. M to the negative 4, so I'm going to have to cross the line, change the sign. P to the negative 2, cross the line, change the sign. Okay, what stays in my numerator? Stays, right? That n to the 5th, our little lonely n to the 5th stays. The other two cross the line, so m comes down to the 4th. And then I have p comes down, and now it's positive 2. All right, one more together. Here we go. Negative 7 exponent means come down. D to the negative 1 means move it. And g to the negative 6 says move it. All right, here we go. I have c squared stays. I have e cubed stays. I have g cross the line, change my sign, so now it's positive 6. Okay, and then I have b comes down, change the sign, so b to the positive 7, and d comes down, positive 1. I don't have to write 1. If you need to see it, awesome. Okay, so that's what negative exponents do. Cross the line, change the sign. Right? Cross the line, change the sign. It can go up or down, just depends where is it in your expression. Let's see what you can do.